Hello, it's Nico with Food Cravings, and today we're making chicken lo mein. And I'm going to show you my take on this very popular Chinese noodle dish. We'll start with one whole chicken breast, boneless, skinless. We'll also need bok choy. I call this white bok choy. And we're going to want to cut these up in thirds. We'll also go with one green scallion. I also have here some julienne red bell pepper, which I like the taste of, so I want to add this to the dish as well. And a few portobello mushrooms that have been cleaned, but any mushrooms will do, as well as some ginger garlic. The combination of ginger and garlic is really healthy for you. And the serrano chili pepper for some heat. And first we'll start by slicing our breast in half straight through horizontally. Then we'll slice about a 1/4 inch through that lengthwise, creating like a very thin chicken steak, and we'll slice through that as well. This is the secret to cooking Chinese way because it's really thin and the meat gets done fast in the wok. We'll give that a quick dice into like 1/2 inch cubes, but they're more like very thin strips. And after all that slicing and dicing, I realized I had a chicken pile. Here, this is the secret. What you do is slice it in really thin strips and it cooks really fast. Then I'm gonna go ahead and place that in my prep bowl. Adding to that some ginger and garlic. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut the onion in half. We're using both a bigger spring onion and we're using the regular thin ones as well. Here I have it cut in half. Then we're gonna go ahead and dice that in fourths, about 1 inch or 2 long, because it's for noodles. If this was rice, you'd do finer. Then on to the bok choy, which we'll cut the stalks in thirds. First cutting in half, and then the green leafy parts in thirds as well. Here I'm going to cut the bigger scallion in half now, and thinly slice the white part. And I'm going to give you a pro tip. When it comes to Chinese or any Asian style cooking, what happens is you have to cut the vegetables in a uniform shape to match your meat and noodles or rice. Here I've also diced some garlic along with the ginger and combined the two in one little prep bowl to add to our dish in a little bit. And we'll also need a couple of mushrooms, which I've already cleaned out. Some portobello here. Next we'll transfer them in a separate bowl next to the other vegetables. Meanwhile, our water has boiled and we'll go ahead and salt that and give it a stir in preparation for, you guessed it, our noodles. Then we'll dump that in and give it a stir with some chopsticks to dislodge them so that they won't stick, like so, under and under and over again, just gently like that to spring them apart. The key is not to overcook them, of course. We'll also add our sliced chili. Next we'll want to go ahead and strain the noodles and stop the cooking process by running them under cold water. This will take the excess starch off and shock the noodles. That's how come they come out all chewy, so that's another pro tip here. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and strain the water out again. Set them aside. Here I finished rinsing. Next we'll start heating up our wok on high heat. Like so, evenly coating it before adding in the chicken. And you'll want to wait for the perfect timing, which is a really good smoking wok. That's when you add the meat. And then we stir around with our offset spatula to cook it evenly. And we'll want to make sure we don't overcook the meat, because we're going to dump that back into the wok to combine one final time with the noodles. And of course, next we're going to drizzle on some light soy sauce, followed by some dark soy sauce to add some color, and some salt and pepper. Once that begins to bubble, we'll add some oyster sauce and give that a stir. Next, we'll want to hit it with some white pepper. And remember that diced onion and ginger, we're going to go ahead and add that in right now. And with the offset spatula, we're going to go ahead and stir and stir and stir before dumping in our vegetables. And I decided to take a real quick break. And you know what that means. I walked away for a bit. On my quest for a drizzle, I came back with some oil before dropping the noodles because I didn't want them to stick. And I went on searching for the right utensil, at which point in time I came back with some tongs and flipped the noodles. You have to constantly play around with them so that they don't stick, and keeping them moving. That's part of the wok and roll process. Here I decided to come back with some scallions. The reason why we added them last is because they cook too quickly. The last thing we want is mushy vegetables, so I gave that a toss again, incorporating what was underneath by bringing it over. And I added the chicken as well, and I gave it a few more tosses, gently letting the noodles drop so that strand by strand I could tell that they won't stick to one another. So after all the tossing was done, and I was satisfied with the doneness of my noodles and vegetables, I decided that this dish was done. And it was here that I decided to top with some sesame seeds. Shortly thereafter, you guessed it, it was time to plate up. So I brought my bowl to the wok and began dishing it out to place the noodles with vegetables and chicken inside so that I can go in for a taste. Once I set the noodles down, I remembered just how easy this dish was to make. I mean, look at it. A bowl of noodles that good? Who could resist? So on my quest for chopsticks, I came back stirring the noodles a little bit so that I can grip some and go in for the official tasting. The combination of chicken with noodles so chewy and the crunchy vegetables just made this dish worthwhile. So if you're a sucker for chewy noodles like me, give this a try. It's perfect for a weeknight meal because it's quick and easy. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe for chicken lo mein. For more info and ingredient amounts, please visit www.cheftico.blogspot.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, bon appetit, and see you soon.